So I get this question a lot, and I'm going to answer it the best way that I know how. And that question is, well, if I just met a girl, how do I get her in my bed on the first date? Well, okay, let's hold on for a second here. First, I highly suggest that you really decide whether or not you want to get this girl in bed on the first date. There are a lot of negative repercussions that can happen from doing that. I've done it several times, of course. It hasn't always ended up nice for me or for them. So take your time with it and really decide. Now, if you do and you're connecting with her and it's going well, you feel like there's a connection there's something that's going on, and you are like, well, you know what, I'm only here this one time, or I'm not going to be dating this girl long term, then okay, I think the one night stand is in order here, and that's perfectly fine. So you figure that out. You want to have a one night stand. First thing you're going to want to do is you need to present to her the idea that you're not going to be a good long-term relationship kind of person. That's very important. The way to do that is to think very sexually. Now, this is a method that I learned a long time ago when I first started studying, is to kind of picture her doing whatever it is that turns you on the most while she's talking to you. Picture her doing that thing to you. If it's having sex or something sexual, fantastic. That's great. So bending over, whatever you want to picture her doing that while you're talking to her. Now it's important that I note that you don't just do this to random people. People who have relationships will find it very creepy, so do not do that. Women who are not attracted to you yet will find it very creepy as well. So once you've already gone past the stage of attraction, and you're already well into the stage of rapport, then you're going to try this method. Now, you can learn more about the stages of attraction and rapport and how to tell if you're in whichever stage you're in by reading my book called The Tao of Badass. You can check it out, theTaoofBadass.com. But until then, once you're there and you want to get her back, there's a few things you have to take care of. One is emotional trust. She has to trust you completely. You do that by building rapport. You can see exactly how to build rapport in The Tao of Badass, my book. But also you have logistics to work out as well. It's not all emotional. You have emotional for rapport and trust. You have physical, which means you have to actually create this physical attraction. One way to do it is to become more of a man, not necessarily get harder with your movements or more rigid. You still have to be soft whenever you're talking to her and touching her and things. You don't want to be too rough. A lot of women get very turned off by that, so you have to be careful. Some women like it, but you won't know until you go there, and of course you want to make sure that you don't go too far. So take your time with it. Be sort of a rock, like a powerful person, powerful man, but that is soft. Kind of like you're handling something really delicate, because women are typically very delicate. And so then the last one is logistics. Logistics are the hardest things to take care of. Does she have friends? Does she live far away? Are you going to her house, your house? Do you have some other reason to go somewhere besides, hey, let's go have sex? Because that's probably not going to work. I mean, it may work. It's worked before, but you want to have what's called plausible deniability. Plausible deniability is a reason other than let's go have sex to leave the bar. Now, kudos to you if you can make it a reason that's actually good. Like, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee, or let's go grab a cup of tea, which is what I prefer to have, or even just to walk out the door and go, come here, let's go. She's like, where are you going? I'd be like, oh, we're going to go down the road to a different place, whatever it is. Just start to change locations so she gets comfortable changing locations, and then you have to have a reason for her to come back to your house. Hookah, if you have a hookah, is very awesome, though it does give you cancer, so be careful with that. Smoking does, of course. Anything else maybe that you guys have talked about during your interaction that you may have? Guitar Hero is fantastic for stuff. For some reason, women love Guitar Hero as well. A movie that you want to watch that night, anything to get her back. Now, when you get her back, she's going to be at your apartment, and many of you know that does not mean that she's going to sleep with you that night or hook up with you at all. From there, you'll have to go more into the book to understand a little bit more about what to do at that point. But check it out. The Tao of Badass is the book.